What's the crack, everyone? It's Ollie from B2B Sports here. The Minnesota Vikings have only gone and done it again. They've battered the Houston Texans 34-7. What an unbelievable ride. What an unbelievable season this already is. Only 3 games in. Can you believe it? As always, give the channel a subscription, whack the like button, I'd be extremely grateful. The Minnesota Vikings content is hella fun at the moment, and let's keep this train rolling. Going into this matchup, both teams were 2-0. The Houston Texans are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the AFC. A new superstar QB in CJ Stroud, everyone knows he's a baller. You know, they've got Stephon Diggs, who they've acquired this off-season. Yes, things ended sour in Minnesota for Diggs, but we will always remember him for that Minneapolis miracle. Absolute game-changing play, one that will personally live with me forever. And as Vikings fans, we just know how dangerous he can be. There also seems to be quite a lot of other ties between the two franchises. They acquired Cam Akers in the off-season as well. Obviously, had that short stint with the Vikings last year before going down with an injury. There was obviously the Darnold Hunter trade in the off-season too. We got Jonathan Grenard as well from those guys. So there's no question that these franchises like to do business together. But who will come out with the upper hand? No one really predicted that the Vikings would be in this position going into week 3. But everyone kind of had an idea that the Texans would show up and have a good season again. A couple of notable absences for the Vikings in this game. Jordan Addison still out with that ankle injury, and also Ivan Pace Jr. added to the injury report this week. He's been a key figure for this Brian Flores defense. He's been aggressive, he's been in the face of opponents, and just making massive plays when it counts. No doubts on Justin Jefferson though. He was back training this week. After a little scare last week, that quad contusion was no problem and he was ready to go. The crowd was up for it. US Bank Stadium was extremely loud. I think everyone is sensing that this can be a very special year, and so that home support played its part, in particular when the Houston Texans were in field goal range and the crowd was so loud that it forced penalty after penalty after penalty. It forced the Texans all the way back after numerous false starts, and that's the impact a good home crowd can have. We all know the Legion of Boom, the Seattle Seahawks, the 12th man, and how loud that stadium is and how much of an impact it has on that Seattle Seahawks team. And the home support well and truly played its part today. Got to talk about Sammy Darnold. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 181 yards in the end. This guy is just doing the business. He looks calm in the pocket, he looks composed. When there's nothing on, he's not afraid to just lob it out of play, lob it out of bounds, and live to fight another day. He's just got an absolute cannon of an arm, especially in the red zone. I think that one throw to Naylor in particular, an absolute dart, threaded the needle right into the hands. He's always looking for his guy, Justin Jefferson, as well. They seem to have a great connection early on. And although it's not crazy yardage, it's not 300-400 yards, you know, he's just doing what he needs to do. Clinical, efficient, not giving the ball away. You know, the offensive line didn't really help him out today. He had numerous sacks, but no key turnovers, and that is pivotal when you're playing a top side. There was a little injury scare for Sam Darnold. Darnold Hunter, it had to be, didn't it? It had to be Darnold Hunter with the low tackle. I think after the game, he said to Brian and Neil that he might have got blocked and forced him low. I don't know about that one, but, you know, Darnold's not a dirty guy. He's not a dirty player. And I like to think he has a lot of respect to Minnesota and the Minnesota Vikings fans. But it just had to be Darnold. You know, he went down with a knee injury. Vikings Nation held their breath. And when he was cleared, when he was good to go, the reception that he got coming out onto the field must have been incredible for him. It must have been a little bit heartwarming and emotional as well. Only 3 games in to have that kind of reception. You know, to not even be first choice QB. Really, in pre-season, to now being the star man and proving pundits like Stephen A. Smith wrong. I'm happy for the bloke. I'm happy for Sam, and let's keep this going. Let's keep this thing going. Sam Darnold, an early MVP candidate. Who would have thought it, eh? Aaron Jones again had a very good day on the ground. 102 yards, 19 carries. Such a physical back. Still got a great burst of speed. He tailed off a little bit in the San Francisco 49ers game, but none of that today. And this is why the Minnesota Vikings offense is so good right now. There's such a balance between the sides. There's no pressure on Darnold to throw every single play. He's got Aaron Jones to lean on and also Ty Chandler to back him up as well. Again, my guy Jalen Speedy Naylor coming up with a vital touchdown. He's looking clinical in the red zone this season. Also shout out Brandon Powell as well. Key plays. He goes under the radar a little bit, and he will do even more so when Addison and Hockenson comes back. But it's that next guy up mentality. I was really impressed how he came back towards the ball to make a crucial catch in the second half. That failed sort of lateral play where he scooped the ball up and gained valuable positive yardage when it looked like it was going all the way back. Just underrated but big plays from Brandon Powell. We move on to the defensive side of the ball, and I'm beginning to run out of words for how good this Brian Flores defense is. No QB that we've faced this year has looked comfortable. Jonathan Greenard with a hat-trick of sacks, can you believe it? Just pressure in the face of CJ Stroud all day long. And again, just like we were talking about in the offense, next man up mentality, Ivan Pace Jr. was out. Camus stepped up with an absolute phenomenal performance. Picked up the interception early on and just continued from there. Cam Beasley picked up an interception late on in the game as well. Those moves, busting out their moves in the end zone. Love to see a defensive touchdown celebration, me. Harrison Smith nearly had one as well to add to his long list of interceptions in his career. I think for me on the defensive side of things, Andrew Van Ginkel is just that guy for me. He's the favourite player of mine on defense. Another huge productive display from him. 5 tackles, 1 assisted tackle and 1 sack on the day. He's just a monster. He's everywhere, covering so much ground. And that's what I like about this defense, is that we're not solely relying on one set of guys or one guy in particular. Everyone is stepping up, from Van Ginkel to Metellus to Patrick Jones II. You know, Harrison Phillips had a great tip. Everyone's hustling, everyone's working so hard, and it's paying off. We are quickly becoming the most feared defense in the league. And I can't end this video without talking a little bit about special teams. Never get the credit that they deserve, but Will Right Guard, you are an absolute hero. A 58-yarder doinked field goal. For those of you who don't know, I think in the special teams room there was a little bit of a bet going around that Will Right Guard can't cut his hair until he misses a field goal. So that hair's about to get very long. But there we have it. Vikings are 3-0. What a start to the season. We have Green Bay Packers away from home next up at Lambeau. Jordan Love looks like he's going to be back playing. The return of Aaron Jones to Lambeau. Things are going well for the Vikings, but this will be a tough game. We've had the luxury of home support the past couple of games that's carried us through. But now this is the next test. It's scary to think how far this team can go, especially when you've still got Addison, Hockenson and Reisner to come back into the squad as well. I would love to see where the Vikings are in the power rankings this week. If we're not into the top 3 at least, we riot. In terms of NFC teams, the Seahawks are looking good, but you would have to argue that the Vikings are the best team in the NFC right now. In terms of the AFC side of things, the Chiefs are still looking pretty damn good. Also, the Bills are looking pretty good as well. I think I'd written them off in pre-season after losing Diggs. It seems like they're going through a bit of a transitional period, but Josh Allen is playing a great football. But who would have thought it, Vikings fans? Who would have thought it? Let us know your thoughts on that Vikings performance. How far can this Minnesota Vikings team go? As always, thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate it. SKOL Vikes, and peace out.